Hello, and welcome back to the Konich-Yeehaw podcast here on the Last Choice Network. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jared.
And this past weekend, we went to Anime Frontier. So we wanted to share our experience with you guys.
Right.
Right. So Anime Frontier is a convention in the DFW area here in Texas. It was both of our first times going to it. Your first time at the convention center. I've been to a different convention at this center. So I guess to start off, we bought our badges early enough that we were able to mail order them.
Yeah.
Which is something that I have never done before, and I don't really remember ever being offered it.
Right.
Also,
I believe A-Fest offers that, but I've just never done it before.
Yes, and it was very nice.
Super convenient.
Made it all very convenient because if you go to an anime or any convention, I guess, you know that going to pick up your badge is usually the worst part.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's just you in a line for hours.
Yeah.
And you're waiting to go pick up a badge so you can go enjoy the convention. So very nice. We got our badges in the mail weeks before the convention. We showed up. They had 3 different entrances at the convention center. So there was one line for if you already have a badge, which we did. That's where the one we went to. There was another line for if you ordered a badge and you need to pick it up. And then there was a third line for if you wanted to buy a badge on site.
Right. And oh my gosh, is that genius.
Yes.
I've never been to a convention where picking up a badge / already having a badge and then buying a badge was 2 separate lines.
Yes. It's usually all one giant line.
Right.
And the thing that I noticed, though, is that with the last convention that we went to, which was A-Fest.
A-Fest, yes.
Yes. That they had, a separate booth, but not separate lines.
Yes, they have separate booths, but not separate lines. It completely defeats the purpose.
Yeah. So then, anyway. Having actual separate lines and it's all color coordinated, very easy to get through. They did require either COVID vaccine card or a negative COVID test.
Right, which we've been to a convention that's Anime Dallas required that, but they weren't they didn't check.
But they didn't check. And I honestly don't remember if A-Fest did either.
Yeah, good.
I don't think A-Fest actually required it. I think you just had to wear a mask.
Yeah. They
were whatever, just wear a mask. Yes, but Anime Dallas did. It was on their requirement, but they never checked it. Here at Anime Frontier, they check it at the door. So because we already had our badges, right? We showed them our badges. We showed them our vaccination cards, and then we got a wristband that we were supposed to keep on for the entire weekend.
Right, which it was a sturdy wristband. It
very
was plastic.
Sturdy. Yeah, very sturdy wristband, plastic. And then in the following days, we would just kind of hold up our badges and hold up our wrists and walk through, and they'd be like, "You're good to go." It's very, very fast process.
Super efficient.
Yes.
Which honestly, on top of the efficiency, I never really saw a line. Honestly, okay. First off, I never saw the line for buying a badge.
No,
everything I have no idea where that was.
Everything seemed pretty short. It seemed like everything was put together. I don't know if just maybe people were staggering in, coming in, or if enough people already bought their badge. Because obviously the line for if you already had your badge was very quick. Yeah. Because you only needed to show your vaccination card, and then you got the wristband, and then like I said, for the remainder of the weekend, you just went through that line again, and it was they just kind of look at you and be like, okay. So that part, very convenient, very easy. We get there.
Our first day.
We show up around noon. We have about an hour until our panel. So we think, okay, let's go shopping.
Yeah,
right?
Let's do a little shopping. See how far we can get.
Let's do a little shopping. We walk in, and it's giant.
It is so huge.
It's huge.
It is the biggest dealer's room I have ever seen.
It's huge. And so whenever we walked in, the first booths strategically placed for us to see are the Bandai Namco toys and collectibles and the Bandai Namco Gundam base.
Yeah, which calling them a booth is a little underselling it. Like, these were pop-up stores.
Yes, these were stores. They had walls. They had, I mean, they were...
Yeah. They had, like, their own flooring. Like you said, they had walls. They had statues. Like, the display cases. These were pop-up stores.
Yes. So, we go to the Gundam one because...
Yes. Which I collect...
I collect
Gundam. I like Gundam.
Yes.
I collect Gunpla, like, model kits. And Gundam Base, I believe, does not have any stores in America. I know for a fact, at least, they don't have any in Texas.
Yeah.
So this was a huge opportunity for me. I bought 2 Gundam there.
On the first day.
Yes, on the first day I bought 2, which, honestly, they're pretty big, and they were really good prices. So buying the same sets on Amazon were $20 to $30 more, and so I couldn't pass up this opportunity.
Right.
They also had a couple exclusives, which talk about that later. But just the fact of, like, I spent over $100, but, like, it could have been way more.
Right. So the first thing we do is we go to this Gundam Base store, and like you said, I mean, it's big. They got the big statue. We spend our whole hour there.
Yes.
At just this one store, looking at everything. And then it's panel time, pretty much. So we go to our panel, which was a brief history of yokai, given by Zach Davison. Zach was with a K, and Davison was 2 S's. And pretty much from reading the schedule that I got on the app, because they have an app, I could tell that this man was going to fuel my panel going experience, because he had a panel every day, and they all seemed really interesting.
Yeah, they were all about yokai.
Yes, they're all about yokai, which yokai are, loosely speaking, Japanese demons or monsters or ghosts, anything kind of paranormal, spiritual, doesn't have to be physical. No. Which is something that he really stressed, was that since it was a history of yokai, early yokai were literally just like feelings.
The essence.
Yes, the essence of something unusual and spiritual. One of my favorite ones, like an example of that, one of my favorite examples was he talked about the yokai of the feeling of someone walking behind you as you're walking home alone at night. Like, that's very specific, but if you've ever done that, maybe you've had that feeling. So in Japan, that's a monster. Like, that's a yokai, right? And it was a really cool history, just very informative. Could tell that he's given it a lot. Cool guy.
Yeah, he made a lot of jokes during it. It was like, there are some panels that are like super serious, and then there are some panels that are like fun and games, and it was a good in-between. Right. Like you said, he's definitely given this quite a few times, so he knows what jokes to say when.
So we go to his panel. It's great. Then we go back to shopping.
Yes.
Right?
Shopping time.
Yes. We go through the dealer's room.
Yes. I just want to point out, like, to emphasize how big this dealer's room is. It took us 4.5 hours, not including before the panel, 4.5 hours after the panel, to get through the entire thing once.
Yes. And, like, we're not crazy. We took breaks because, oh my goodness. I mean, you know, it's loud. It's a lot of walking. It's a very big room. And it took us, I mean, it was a lot. There was a lot of variety.
There's a lot of variety.
A lot of things to look at. A lot of things to take in. Right. But very cool.
Yeah. One thing. Okay. So, about dealer's room. So, it was interesting, like, the span of things, because it seems like it's kind of a newer thing, at least from what I can tell, selling, like, vintage things in dealer's rooms. So, like, I saw a couple that had vintage video game things.
There are quite a few.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like, there'd be, like, vintage toys, different things like that. Also, I begrudgingly say this, pop figurines, very, very popular.
Very popular, yeah.
There are this dealer's room in particular had a ton of pop figurine like booths. One thing interesting about this though is that this, unlike a lot of them that I've seen, a lot of booths at this place had exclusives and very rare ones. Like, yes. I saw that there are some that had like signed pop figurines.
Yes,
and things
I saw that. Yeah. Yes, a lot of good shopping in the dealer's room. And that was pretty much our first day because by the time we were done, it was 6:30. The dealer's room closed at 7. So we just, and we were going to start the artist alley.
Right.
We weren't going to get anywhere.
Right. We didn't even go to the artist alley on the first day.
No.
Because, okay, that is so crazy to me. Because dealer's room, so the dealer's room, the artist alley, the car show, and the autographs were all in this same enormous room.
Yes.
So
and not too much sectioning off either.
Yeah, not really.
There was like the autographs were a little bit more sectioned off.
Right, because they had lines.
Because they had lines, but that was it.
So, also just throw in there, Pachinko was in there as well.
Oh, yes.
Pachinko started to get more popular as well.
Yeah.
So, but it's just crazy to me that, so it opened at 1. We got there it opened at 12.
It opened at noon, yeah.
It opened at 12. We got there at 12, looked in there for an hour, went to a panel until 2. Then until 6:30, until 6:30, we looked through it one time. So there was basically no way to look at everything. It was basically impossible to look at everything in the dealer's room and everything at the artist alley at the same time, in the same day.
And
because it closed at 7.
Yeah, and that is also to say that we are the type of people that want to look at everything.
Yeah.
Like, whether we are interested in it or not, we want to know everything that's there.
Yeah, we don't want to miss anything.
We don't want to miss it, yeah. So, I mean, I guess, like, there are some people where it's easy for them to be like, oh, I don't care about vintage video games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to walk by it. We looked at everything because we're crazy and we want to know everything that's there.
Yeah, I mean, like, just in case I might see something cool, you know?
Which, there were a lot of hidden gems.
There were.
That it took two or three passes to finally see them or anything like that. So you bought your Gundam on the first day.
Yes, my first day I bought 2 Gundam and a pop figurine for my brother.
Yes. And then I bought a figure that is from the anime Suddenly Egyptian Gods, which is a chibi anime that aired like 2 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
They're coming out with another season.
Yeah, season 2 next season.
Yes. I'm excited because I like chibi animes.
Yes.
And we've seen this exact figure at an anime store in our area, and it was like $30.
Yeah. And
at this convention, it was $12. So how could we say no? And it's super adorable, and it's very nice. Looks great next to our TV. So that was our first day, though. On our second day, we had new cosplays.
Oh, yeah. So our first day, we cosplayed cosplays that we've done before from My Dress Up Darling. So we didn't really spend time taking pictures or anything like that on that. Second day, I cosplay from Kamen Rider. I cosplay Kamen Rider Ichigo, which, if you're watching, the helmet is right here. If you're not, it looks like a grasshopper head. Kamen Rider's pretty good. Go check it out.
Surprising amount of people.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I had a
knew
couple
who you
people,
were.
Yeah, I had a couple people be like, "Oh, I recognize you," and like the character, and like I got a couple people take pictures with me. Yeah.
Yeah, you had one person that was also cosplaying from Kamen Rider, which was a little surprising to me because I didn't know Kamen Rider before you got into it.
Yeah.
And also, from my understanding, like I know there's new ones. Obviously, I know that there's Kamen Rider still airing, but my understanding is that it was very popular.
Yes.
Quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool.
It was, yeah, and like
it's surprising.
There aren't very many Kamen Rider. If people that watch this like Kamen Rider, in the slight chance, then you're gonna get on me for saying Kamen Rider and not Kamen Rider. That's just how I read it the first time, so I can't fix myself.
Uh-huh.
So there aren't very many anime adaptations, if I believe. So it's kind of odd to have fans at an anime convention.
Right. Yeah. So that was your cosplay.
Yeah.
I cosplayed as Harmony from Splatoon 3, who is the shopkeep. She's a sea anemone, and she's just kind of a derpy little gal.
You also had quite a few people say that they liked your cosplay and got pictures.
Yes, I did. I made the wig, and I cried a little over it. I had a little breakdown that did, like 2 days before, but it all worked out. So the first thing we did was we took pictures. Essentially, we got to the convention and we took pictures. So this brings us to location. The convention center that we were at is beautiful.
It is. There's water gardens.
There's a water garden right like attached to it, essentially. I have been to this convention center before, and I was very excited because I love this convention center because of the location. Because it is so easy to find places to take pictures if you are cosplaying and you want good pictures.
Yeah.
It's pretty well spread out, so it's not too hard to like not get people in the background kind of thing. There's a lot of different like dynamics if you want maybe like more plants, more industrial building. And then also outside of the water gardens, though, just the city block itself has a lot of good opportunity.
Yeah.
For pictures. There are parking garage.
Yeah.
Our parking garage, for some reason, the stairwell.
Yeah,
is
the
like,
lighting was just perfect.
The lighting is perfect. It's like they have, I don't want to call it, it's like colored glass.
Yeah.
They have colored glass, so like it's like a nice tinted red in the stairwell. So like if you wanted something that was more that vibe, like you could go there. It's very like there was the city, the convention center had a lot of good photo opportunities. So I was happy to be there taking pictures. We took some good pictures.
We did take some pictures. You can see some on our Twitter.
Yes.
What
is our Twitter? It's Konich-Yeehaw.
Konich-Yeehaw.
Yeah. But yes, we took pictures. That was the first thing we did. Then we go back in, round 2 of shopping. I'll go ahead and say we missed our panel. I'm so sorry, Mr. Zach Davidson. I got the times confused. I thought the panel started at 2 and it started at 1. So we missed it. I'm very sorry.
I know, and I felt so bad because like I tweeted like, "Oh, this panel was so good. We're gonna see all of his panels," and he even like liked it and was like, "Thanks," and like then we didn't, and I feel so bad.
I know. I'm very sorry. I messed it up.
I really wanted to see it too.
Yeah, it was Yokai Cats.
Yeah.
Which I would like to have an episode about cats, but we have to think about it.
Yeah.
So because I messed up, the whole day was basically just shopping.
It was just shopping.
We went to the artist alley. I really appreciate how easily set up this, like, honestly, like the whole shopping experience was, because in my experience, whenever you go to an anime convention, you kind of just show up and there's no map.
Yeah.
Like you don't know where the stores are, and you kind of have to just figure it out. And so maybe like an artist will, because the artist gets the map because they have to know where they're going, right? An artist will maybe take a screenshot of the map, circle their booth, and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here at this booth, whatever." But Anime Frontier did provide the guests with an actual like dealer's room artist alley map, which I think is nice. It's an extra step if you want to really keep up with it. We didn't really keep up with it as far as like maybe marking the ones we wanted to go back to.
Some other people that we overheard, something that we should have done was they would get the business card and then said, "Hey, can you write your booth number on it so I can come back?" Right. We should have done that because we got lost.
We got lost.
So it was, not only was it a big dealer's room that took us 4.5 hours to get through, it was a big artist alley as well. It took us about 2.5 hours to get through the artist alley.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a lot of, and it was a lot of good art. It was a lot of people that I've never seen before, which, considering that we go to conventions that are all relatively within the same mile radius of each other, was nice. It was refreshing. I saw people that I haven't seen, some people that I have seen.
Also saw a lot of really unique things.
Yes, a lot of really unique things. So usually whenever you go to an arts alley, you expect prints, posters, you expect keychains, buttons, and stickers. All of those things, I think, except for keychains, are like kind of paper based. So I think they're easier to manufacture, like what it really comes down to. But there were a lot of things at like in this artist alley that weren't that. So for example, we saw like embroidery. Somebody like selling embroidery patches.
Saw another person that was selling rugs.
Yes.
Custom made rugs.
Yes, and like good for that guy, because by the time we got to that booth, he had 4 rugs left, and his whole like wall apparently was rugs before, and then he only had 4 little ones left. And he was like, "Hey, but I'll take commissions, like I'll make you something." Like,
right.
But he was eating good, you know.
Oh, yeah,
and there were people selling like 3D models, or I mean, just like a bunch of different things that I usually don't see in artist alleys, which I thought was really cool, like tote bags, shirts, a lot of unique things, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that I'm not like super informed on how artist alleys like are formed, but I know that at some conventions they like you have to like submit your like portfolio essentially, and then they get to then like the
like
convention they're like, are you good enough to be? And it's really cool on this one because like they really went out of their way to be like, okay, this is what we want to consider art for an artist alley in this convention, instead of just the typical like standard art.
Right. Yeah. There was a lot of really cool things, like cool and unique things.
Yeah.
At the artist alley, which was awesome. We didn't get any prints.
We did not get any prints this time. It's not that we didn't like anything. We just have to be really picky now. We're running out of room.
Kind of running out of room. We were looking for a print of someone.
Yes.
In particular.
Yes.
Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edge Runners, who's our favorite character. We love her.
Yes.
She's such a badass.
No one will draw her with clothes on.
Literally nobody drew her with clothes on.
Yeah. Like, so the thing is that there's this one scene in the show where the main character opens up the door and then she's there in her underwear holding a gun up. And like that scene was what every single person drew. And I'm like, I love that, perfect, Rebecca represent. But like, I have family that comes over to my house. Like, I can't just have half naked anime girls on my walls. Like, I have like, how do you explain that to like a new friend?
Yeah, like I really love it. And there were so many really good prints of Rebecca, and she just didn't have her clothes on. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. So a little disappointing for us. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Did you buy anything on the second day?
The second day, I bought presents.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry.
I also bought presents.
Sorry, hush, hush.
So I did actually buy one print. It just was a present.
It was a present,
for myself.
Same. Then we do our shopping. We have one panel that other than the one that we missed on accident.
Yes.
There was one panel that we were really looking forward to. I saw it on the schedule and I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. And it was cosplay slam poetry, which was slam poetry by people who like actually do slam poetry. And it was going to be like them showcasing their poetry, and then they would have maybe like a little open mic section at the end. And they said that they were going to like make it more interactive, like audience interactive. I mean, it looked like a good time is what they made it sound like. We get there and it was canceled.
It was canceled.
Just so sad, because like, I mean, for me, that was kind of going to be the highlight of my convention experience. Like, the shopping experience aside, I mean, that was going to be the highlight for me personally. So it was kind of sad that it was canceled, and we kind of begrudgingly went back to shopping.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much our second day. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So then third day, super casual.
Yeah, we didn't wear cosplay.
No. We go there mostly to shop. So because this is our last day, and we're doing a lot of like rush shopping because we're crazy.
Yeah, just to get so for reasons, we had to be back at our house by 3:00.
We had work. Okay, we're people. We had work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had to get to my shift.
Yeah.
So we had to be back at 3. There was Zach Davidson had one more panel, but we missed it because we prioritized shopping. It was about the worst yokai, mostly being like gross, smelly, weird, lame yokai. But we did skip it to prioritize shopping so that we could actually finish our shopping and make sure that we were satisfied with our shopping experience. Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
Was good.
The shopping experience was so good.
It was so good.
I ended up getting 3 free Gundam totes. It just happened.
Yes.
Which, now that I've experienced a convention with a tote bag, I never want to go back.
Yeah.
Like, having a tote is so convenient.
It's so nice to have a tote. Like, I usually have a little backpack, but to have something to actually, like, keep all the little things that you collect out of, like, having another bag for that is very nice.
Yes.
We went back. I bought miscellaneous stickers and keychains. They were 2 what I would consider, like, My Little Pony artists, which they're kind of few and far between now, it seems. At least in physical spaces. I see them online, don't worry. Yeah. But the last time that I saw a pony booth, essentially, was at Anime Dallas, which was now over a year ago. I didn't see them again this year, but at any of the conventions. But over a year ago, I did see them, and I bought like a whole set of pins from them because I was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't see, like, that kind of stuff anymore. But there were 2 pony booths. Very cool. Did buy things from them. And then I also bought. So on the first day.
Yes.
On the first day, we walked past these toys, right? Because we said there's a lot of like vintage toys. And we passed by some McFarlane Assassin's Creed action figures. So McFarlane made action figures for Assassin's Creed like a couple years back, but they don't really make them anymore. As far as I know, the last figure that they made was Arno from Unity. So after Arno, they haven't made another figure. They're smaller than Barbies, so they're not like full figures, but they do come with accessories, weapons, hats, etc. And the booth that we saw on the first day, there were 4 of them, and the cheapest one was $75. And these are expensive now because, like I said, they stopped making them, right? They are kind of like a collector's item. And they were cool, but I didn't personally want to spend $75 on something like that. So, and this is once again a testament to just how much we had to walk through things multiple times in order to see what we actually wanted. Because then on my 3rd day, we go to another booth that sells vintage toys, and a lot of vintage toys. And we would actually stop by them before to look at the vintage Godzilla, and we looked at the Monster High dolls and other little My Little Pony figures. But I just completely missed them. But this booth also had the McFarlane Assassin's Creed action figures. It had like 6 of them, and they were buy 2 get 1 free, and the most expensive one was $24. So I was like, oh my goodness, like what am I doing? Like, what, did my eyes just not work? I don't know. So I'm like freaking out. I bought one that I don't really care about because it was a buy 2 get 1 free. But I'm still very happy with that purchase, and I'm very excited to play with them.
That reminded me, I said earlier that I would get back to something. So the Gundam base.
Right.
So they had like Gundam base exclusive figures.
Right.
And
they had like
so
stickers on them that was like Gundam basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the second day, I went back, got another Gunpla. And this one, I had been like, there are a bunch of different like types of it, but this one was like exclusive, and so it was a really good price, and so I just had to get it. Let's see, back to day 3 though. So you got your figures, and we're pretty much done with day 3. We leave around like 1 o'clock because there are nothing else for us to do really. We finished our shopping. And nothing around that time. Plus, once again, we had to be back for our actual live events. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that was that was pretty much it. So, to recap, though, to reflect, I guess. To reflect. This was a convention that you go to just to shop.
Yes.
Like, we paid money to go to shop, to spend more money.
Yes.
And that was it. And I mean that, like, in the nicest way possible. But everything outside of shopping was kind of abysmal.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
There were 3 panel rooms. And, okay, as someone who has been to this convention center before, I guarantee you there's more than 3 panel rooms. Like, they just didn't, like, get panelists. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's, if it's an issue if they couldn't find them, or if they maybe only wanted a certain number. Right, because they had a lot of screenings.
They had a lot of screenings, and things were canceled, obviously. Yeah. But there were 3 panel rooms, and nothing was super up our alley.
Yeah, there's a really popular Genshin panel, but we're not into Genshin.
We're not into Genshin. There was a Gunpla 101 panel, which I'm sure was really cool. If it was something that you were looking to get into, and then you were able to go down to the to the dealer's room and get a decent priced Gunpla, like that was probably that's good marketing. That's all I can say is that it's good marketing, you know. But other than that, nothing was really our vibe. I noticed that there weren't a lot of fun panels.
Yeah.
And I say fun as in like games. Sometimes you just want to go to a panel and it's a little game. I've gone to panels where it's just like drawing, like a little like draw something and pass it around kind of thing. We did Loteria, which was fun.
I've done an anime debate before.
Yeah, debates. I mean, like things that are more like a game show or more just for fun. A lot of this was for learning or a screening. So I think it was kind of missing that. And then because we weren't a big fan of the panels, it seemed like, or felt like for us, after 7, when the dealer's room closed, there was nothing for us to do.
Right, because there was a game room. We just didn't go to it. I didn't even see it on the map.
It's like, it was poorly advertised. A poorly advertised game room.
Right, and then there was also no board games,
no tabletop room.
Yeah, no tabletop room, which one of our friends was really sad about that.
Yeah. Because
what do you do after the dealer's room closes?
Yeah, and what do you maybe even do between your panels? Like, like those kind of spaces are places to just kind of waste time. But like in a fun way. Yeah. Obviously. Like maybe I want to go play some DDR or some bullshit, you know? But it definitely seemed like literally outside of the shopping, everything was pretty abysmal. Yeah. So if that's sad to you, then I wouldn't suggest this.
Yeah, if you don't really care about shopping
or like collecting, like, you know,
if you aren't really a collector, maybe Anime Frontier isn't for you.
Yeah, because I was personally kind of sad that like it was like the dealer's room closed and now my convention day is over. Yeah, because I'm used to staying a little later. I'm used to staying till like 8 or 9. I mean, it's only a couple more hours, but I'm still used to kind of feeling like, you know, the party doesn't stop or whatever.
Right. You know what? There's no rave at this convention.
There's no rave. There was a masquerade, but no rave. Yeah. Although I also think that a lot of conventions that we've been to recently have not had raves.
That's right. Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Probably for the best.
It follows up. There's been masquerades and there was a concert.
There's also a canceled concert.
There's also, which is something that I forgot to mention, that Yoko Takahashi was supposed to be there, which if you don't know, she's the singer of Cruel Angel's Thesis, the Neon Genesis Evangelion opening. She had most of her work is from the 90s. So, I mean, she's kind of a legend. All I'm saying, she's a legend in the anime community. We were all very, very excited to see her, but unfortunately she had issues with her visa and was not able to make it to the States. Very sad. Very disappointing. Honestly, was probably going to be another highlight.
Yes, definitely.
Another highlight of this convention would have been to see Yoko Takahashi perform. Once again, that didn't happen. So
just shopping.
Just shopping, which is still fun.
Yeah,
which is still fun.
I got plenty of stuff.
Yes. And I mean, right before the holidays, it's great.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
Actually, yeah.
If you have other people that are into this kind of thing, it's perfect, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's you get unique things. That's the important thing.
It is the perfect convention right before the holidays.
It really is, because there are so many unique things. And maybe even if you think people who aren't maybe into anime in particular, because there was a lot of Marvel, there was a lot of Star Wars, there was a lot of like
video games,
a lot of things that are outside of anime. I know one of the booths that I saw that I debated getting something for someone was a lamp.
Yeah.
Like they had like fan lamps, like lightsabers and swords.
They had a huge
things like that.
K-pop booth as well.
They had a huge K-pop booth, so maybe if you're into K-pop, like, which my sibling is into K-pop, and they said that there was a very good spread. Obviously, I don't know how to judge that.
Yeah, no idea.
But they said that it was very impressive that they had that amount of albums in one spot, and that they were all very good prices. Once again, I don't know. I'm just speaking from what they said, and I believe it. You know, like, especially if you look at like that compared to like the Gundam booth, you know,
right.
Things that it's a big spread, good prices. It's amazing, you know. So if you love to shop.
Yeah. So in closing, if you like to shop, go to Anime Frontier.
Yes.
If you don't like to shop, if you like panels, maybe don't go.
Maybe don't go.
Maybe save your money.
Yeah. And I think that's about it for this episode.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Konich-Yeehaw podcast. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jared.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeehaw.
Yeah.